Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Endresz here, founder of Zukaz. It is the 30th of April 2019 and this is podcast number 6. It gives me great pleasure today to introduce you to, for the first time, Matthew Endresz. He's our co-founder and project manager of the entire Zukaz project. So it's an opportunity today, Matthew, to introduce you to everybody, all of our early adopters and supporters and investors, with an opportunity to talk about where we're at and how we're going to go with Zukaz. As you know, you're heading up a multi-million-dollar project. There's a lot of responsibility, a lot of people out there wondering what's happening. Mm-hmm. You're probably not aware either though, Matt, that it's 3 years, nearly this month, when the beginning, the light bulb came on with Pokemon Go, and you've embraced that and taken that, and this is your project you're moving forward, so it's exciting. So I'd like to lead in today and ask a couple of questions, and the first one is, which is on everybody's lips again, is where are we at with MoWorks, and just explain a little bit about exactly who MoWorks are in terms of bringing forward the program with the Biz app and the Hunter app.
Yeah, well, firstly, great to be here. As Alan said, we kicked off 3 years ago at the end of 2016. The idea was conceived, which is, it's been a long time, but we've done a fair bit of testing last year. And as you're aware, we're getting up to the launch stage very closely, which MoWorks are leading up. And we're at the stage now where we're preparing the launch strategy in Albury, Wodonga, which has been great, and looking to kick off our soft launch in June, early June. So that's the dates we've got so far.
So Matt, as we are local residents in Albury, Wodonga, we're trying to put this humble little town on the global map. And in terms of that strategy, what's going to happen first over the next month in terms of the testing apps that you're looking at? How's that going to work?
So we have a pre-order function which we can actually have within the App Store, and that allows us to actually get traction. People will actually pre-downloading the app, and then once we launch on June 1st, that's when the app actually is automatically downloaded onto their phones. So that's step one. After that process, we do a soft launch June 2nd, around that date, and that'll be involving possibly 100, 150 merchants. And post that, we've got a hard launch of 500 merchants, which is July 6th. So that's our goal for that period. And there's going to be a whole wide range of different strategies which take place: guerrilla marketing, traditional advertising methods, a few exciting AR twists and drops, which involve a few secrets. So very excited to launch that to the Albury Wodonga community and go from there.
So a lot of people probably don't realise in that 3-year journey that obviously a lot of money and time and resources that's under your belt with all the people that are engaged. How many people in MoWorks are actually at any moment in time working through to deliver what we want?
So at this stage there's 16 people at any one time, so not all at the same time, but they make up different roles. For example, Caitlin is the account executive there and manages the whole day-to-day project of Zukaz. And then there's Rebecca, who does the marketing side and the social media side of things, as well as the core app developers, which are developing the Hunter app, the admin portals, the user portals, and obviously the Zukaz Biz portal. And
pretty well, from what we've seen, most of these people are under 30?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would say definitely 80% would be under 30 years old.
So a lot of enthusiasm there, no doubt.
Yes, very, very much so.
And when you look at the app, in the testing that has happened, you've found a lot of functionalities in dealing with the teams, particularly our home team here in Albury, to improve and see how that's going to roll out, for example, for the merchants. How easy it's going to be to onboard and get those vouchers out and about.
Yeah, I mean, during the testing phase last year, as everyone's aware, there was issues on redemption, multi-access points, which have all been completely revamped. The app UI design, so the interface has been revamped, which you saw in the last podcast, and that's all the efforts from the testing and to improve the experience for the merchants and the hunters.
And one thing we should really push hard here with our early adopters, both merchants and hunters, is to explain, and we talk about a voucher, but it's not really a voucher, is it? It's really some powerful augmented reality. It could be anything, couldn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, it can be anything the merchant wants. So we're gearing up to allow the merchant to actually customize those icons, the generic ones you see, and that might involve a logo, or we might go a step further, which will deal directly with a merchant on a day-to-day basis, and that might involve something like, for example, West Tigers. They might have their players moving around in the augmented reality.
So the hunters will actually see, when they've got a restaurant, they might actually see a nice big juicy hamburger floating out there that they go and pick up. Is that right?
Yes, they can see whatever the merchant decides, coffee, restaurant food, could be sporting goods, anything.
And behind that, they click through. That could be a live feed streaming. That could be all the information, website links, everything's on that.
Yep. So we've kept our live streaming the same. So we're allowing the merchant to actually call those consumers and have a direct conversation, and that ups the engagement levels and also allows the merchant to communicate their products and services to the consumer.
And the interesting thing, you've stuck by your guns that you don't want not a single cent is spent by the merchant when they're pushing all these ads out.
Yeah, nothing at all. The pre-authorization we removed, so there's completely no upfront or money locked up. It's a true at redemption. That's when they're charged.
So only on success.
Only on success.
Walk in. And from the hunters, they're getting a bit edgy, aren't they? They've been at us to go live and out and about. We've had people running around all over the place. That's the anticipation.
Yeah, that's what we're gearing up for. So leading into that goes into our new sales team. So which is primarily just around this Albury-Wodonga region. Which allows us to build up those merchant databases and obviously increase the drops, and which engages the hunters. From a hunter's point of view, we're working on getting those those high profile and more businesses on board, so it keeps those good products and services rolling out.
And of course, you've found your solutions with the IT team on. It's not just about collecting a valuable voucher or icon, but they can actually then trade that as well. That's been a big thing.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. So obviously the trading is massive from a consumer point of view, making money off the vouchers. So if there's a voucher a consumer doesn't want, they can choose to put up on the trading marketplace, which has also been fully revamped from a UI point of view, and that allows them to make money.
Fantastic. Well, again, you've now worked your team. You're now building a team of sales force. Mm-hmm. So leading up through that, you're talking releasing the test apps May. You've got your big launch coming, and the indications are that the hunters, you'll have to sort of cap them out. You reckon it's in the thousands?
Well, our goal is obviously 500 merchants by July 6. It is. So that's on the merchant side of things. We want to gear the hunter onboarding up from June 1st. Obviously, it'll start slow. It'll be targeted towards the early adopters that already exist. And then we want to build that up post July 6, hopefully around the 10,000 mark by the end of July.
And indications are you're building a media machine behind this whole thing. You've got some Max Markson, of course, and his team, and influencers and the excitement that's coming with that.
Yeah, planning out a fair few influencers. So Liam Scammell's heading that division up, and the launch strategy with the merchants and obviously strategic partnerships. And hopefully we get a few good ones on board and can promote it a bit more to the hunters. And
obviously for all of our international supporters, particularly through the Caribbean, and big hello to Wayne and Parish, but certainly they're as eager to get going. So if this goes well in a case study, centralised controlled environment, which potentially 500 merchants and 10,000 hunters, then you'll be under pressure because these guys want to see this app released around the world. And your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's easy. I mean, for us, it's easy to put a geo fence around the location. Yep. So what I mean by that is we can restrict the onboarding of merchants. We can restrict where the vouchers are dropped. That allows us to build up those vouchers in the system. Yep. And we can use that as a strategy post Albury-Wodonga to launch into different regions. And obviously overseas can be one of it.
And I don't think a lot of people are aware, but you've been working closely with what we call our account executives. And how many of those around the world are we sitting on?
Yeah, so right now we've got 19 groups, account execs. So they make up around 28 individual people. and we're also building out our account managers, which will be just focused on actually onboarding merchants within a local region.
And given the environment that they make money as part of that referral program, and they bring on board their merchants and the customers get on board as hunters, it's a very exciting environment that we're not short of clients, I wouldn't have thought.
No, they definitely have a large database of clients and more large corporates, so that'll definitely help the profile of Zukaz and get the hunters excited.
So there's a lot on your plate, you've got a lot of team members, but obviously a lot of this it needs a lot of support underneath and a lot of the things you've been working behind the scenes. So one of those items that I wanted you to touch on was the legal ramifications, and how have you handled that with what have you engaged?
Yeah, so we've engaged Cornwalls in Melbourne, so they're handling all our revamping our legal documents. Also helped out with the payment processor and that side of things, and basically also assisting, which ties into the UI designs and the contracts between merchants and Zukaz, and also the consumers and Zukaz. So it's very important.
And that doesn't take away any of the user experience.
No. So we've made MoWorks have dealt with that and still created that user experience which is suitable to either the hunter or merchant.
And more recently, then you've then got to handle potentially tens of millions of inquiries, which our phones have been busy, so we can't cope with that. So and our staff. So you've now introduced another gentleman to come on board and build out HubSpot with our support team member, Louis Reed, who's been around for a long, long time. And how's that looking? Yeah,
it's been fantastic. So Pete's been managing the HubSpot side of things, importing all that data. So we're actually managing the merchants every time they come in, and we're making sure that the communication's going back out to them, and it's the correct communication, whether it's through an account manager, account exec, the compliance team, and then eventually onto the customer success team. And obviously Lou is managing the overarching of all of that.
And obviously you've taken a big picture view down the road, so you've now, just so everybody knows, expansion comes with more staff, and where does that lead us to now? What's happened?
Yeah, so we're very excited to, we've been working with Scotty Andrews and really appreciate everything he's been working on with the new office. So we are making a move over to Wodonga. And the plan behind that is obviously the more space. We're looking to build out more on the sales team and the customer success side of things, and plan that out. And the new office in Wodonga allows us to do that.
Fantastic. And during the last few months, I mean, it's hard to name all of we've got so many strong supporters going back for many, many years. But some of the key players that are really interested in where Zukaz leads to with the virtual real estate in the long term, the collectibles that we're doing and the gamification. Some people from the West, like Paul Hazelby and his team, Todd Morley, you've got Gary White, those guys. Yep. They just cannot wait to get this up and running, can they? I mean, they're pretty pumped.
Hopefully we get over to WA very soon and expand into the cities all around Australia. So that's the game plan after Albury Wodonga. Don't have the timeline on that. It's sort of depending on how Albury goes, but I'll be looking to do that within a month to keep things rolling, and obviously expand those teams out, the sales divisions out into those regions. The location and the virtual map space, that's a huge possibility for us long term. Yep. I think it's going to be something that might come a lot sooner than we think. With the merchants, for example, West Tigers wanting to restrict their ground space. And obviously be the only ones dropping vouchers on that and actually make money from that. So it's a big possibility for us.
So with the new offices in Wodonga, that's going to cater for an increase in growth in terms of our staffing?
Yep. So we're looking to, right now we're around the 10 to 15 mark. Looking to, the office will definitely cater for 30 to 40. So increase the sales and the customer success and the people that are surrounding Zukaz, and yeah, it'll be good.
Because basically it's going to be a never-ending story, isn't it? There's going to be so much add-ons.
Yeah, it's the AR team is could be one by itself as well, and as well as compliance. So
yeah, very good. Well, I think on that note, Matthew, we've got some incredible long-term supporters, which you want to give a big thanks. A lot of them have been around before you were born. I'd like to let you know that, but and putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's very grateful for what we're doing and where we're at.
Yeah. Well, definitely we appreciate the support, and if there's any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ring us, and we're more accommodate on what you're looking to get answered.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, thank you very much, and it's
Thank you.
been an absolute pleasure. And at least you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there's a young generation that's going to take this through the roof. And I haven't touched on either, but from podcast number 5, you can start to see that we're getting to the point in everybody with the Zucoins, and Matthew's well aware of the technology there in terms of the Zukaz team coming together with the Zucoins in the app. So that's going to be another momentous occasion and feature for you with the team.
Definitely.
They're ready for that?
Yep.
Good stuff. Well, thanks everybody. We'll keep you posted, and as he said, contact us here at our offices anytime. We're all available.